Oh shit. Oh shit. It's showtime. Oh my god. Hey, I wanted to share part of this song with you guys real quick before we get going because I heard it earlier today and it's just such a beautiful fucking song. And if you guys don't know it, you should at least listen to this part of it and see if you want to listen to the rest of it.
Who cares if one more light goes out in the sky of a million stars? It flickers, flickers. Who cares when someone's time runs out? If a moment is all we are, or quicker, quicker.
Yep, that's it, man. If you guys don't know who that is, that's One More Light by Linkin Park. Honestly, dude, one of my favorite fucking songs. Really sad song. Really is, but it's also a happy song, too. Kind of makes you appreciate life and where we're at and the temporariness of everything, because you can eat kale and exercise every day and, you know, never smoke a cigarette and do everything you could possibly do, and you're still only here for a little bit. In the grand scheme of things, man, none of us are here for very long. And the things that we do in this life, the choices that we make, good and bad, echo in eternity in a way. Especially if you have kids. You know, if you impart your... Oh, shit. You guys probably can't hear me very well. Stupid new microphone setup. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Just got me thinking about a whole bunch of shit last little bit. Went to the doctor. Everything's good. Like, nothing's going on. Nothing bad. Nothing like that. Although they did fucking take some blood today. Jesus Christ, dude. She fucking butchered me. If you can see. You can't really see. There's 2 dots because the first one, she fucking stabbed into me and it wasn't the fucking vein. And she's poking around and she's like, does that hurt? And I'm like, not really. And then she's like, stabbed it in further. I'm like, ah! So when I went to the gym today, I couldn't do arms because I couldn't fucking bend my arm because she stabbed my muscle or something. It was bad, dude. Yeah, it'll look like a fucking horror show tomorrow. Damn, did Honda just come down from acid? Haven't done acid for quite a few moons. It's been a while since I've done any of that stuff. Although mushrooms on occasion, I would highly recommend, especially since they are, you know, legal in Colorado now. You can grow them, you can make them, you can have them, I don't know if you can sell them or not. I don't know what the deal on that is. But yeah. The sad songs remind me of our great loss as a community. Wait, like this one? In the arms of the And I did get a copyright claim for that, which I appealed and won. Because if you know how to appeal these things, it's not a big deal. Honestly, like, you're not using it to, like, make money. I'm not, like, fucking saying, yeah, I'm Sarah McLachlan and this is my song. Like, and I'll probably have to appeal it too. I'll have to appeal the Linkin Park thing. I'll have to appeal that thing. It doesn't matter. It takes 5 minutes to do, and they're wrong every time, and they know it, but the fucking algorithm catches you, and they're like, oh, thankfully I don't really make any money off of these videos besides super chats anyway, so it doesn't matter. But they did take down the replacement chat because I showed some Dave Chappelle shit. So, you know. Oh shit, MSB dropped in 5. R.I.P. Matt. The mic does sound great. If I ever do live stream, I'll have to find out what you have. I see I'm not the only insomniac. Well, see, the thing is, I work nights, dude. So when I get off of work, it's like 11 o'clock my time. I get home, I eat some food, and then it's a couple hours till I'm even ready to try to go to bed, you know? So might as well sit down and do a chat with you guys. Although, fuck, dude, I fucked up the like setting up this chat. I wasn't really paying attention. Like first I set it for 11:30 a.m. and then I was like, "Oh shit, it's 11:30. Okay, let me cuz you got to do it 30 minutes out so that people get the notification cuz it happens 30 minutes before the chat starts." So I set it for 11:40 p.m. tomorrow. Like, oh shit. And I misspelled fucking late. I just did LAT. I don't know. I wasn't paying it. I was eating and I was like setting up the chat and I wasn't really paying attention to it. I was just scarfing down food and pressing buttons. So, yeah. Should have got her number. Whose number? Whose number? I don't know. There's this girl at my work who is pretty cute, and she seems to be into me. The only problem is she's straight up from Venezuela and doesn't speak any English at all. And I like... Oh, the nurse who pricked me. I speak Spanish, kind of. Not great. I speak the kind of Spanish where I need to like point at things to like fill in the holes. And in like if you're actually like with somebody, they're gonna call you on the phone and they're gonna ask you questions on the phone, and that's no good. Like I don't speak phone Spanish. So, but yeah, she's from Venezuela, and I was talking to her about, you know, like why did you? Obviously, like I should have fucking known. Like why did you come to America? Oh yeah, that's right. You're from fucking Venezuela, where things are not good. Things are quite bad. At least she has a place to go, you know, at least there's an America to come to. But how long till America's Venezuela, you know? How long till we need a place to escape to? And it's not going to be Canada. It's not going to be Mexico. You're going to hop on a boat and go somewhere? What are my pronouns? He, him, and fuck you. Yeah, Venezuela's shit. You're right. Absolutely. Once I dated someone who spoke no English, and at the time I didn't speak much. She spoke formal Spanish, which is way different from casual street Spanish. A lot of body language and smiles. Yeah, though, that's... Dude, I can tell she likes me, and I kind of like... She's cute. You know, she's fucking cute. She's like 25-ish. Again, I'd totally be into her, but it's really difficult getting over that language barrier. And she speaks barely any English at all. And I speak shitty Spanish. So it makes it kind of difficult. So either I got to get like way better at Spanish, or she's got to start learning some English or something. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being stupid and I should just go for it or whatever. But maybe not. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I really do like that Linkin Park song, though. If you guys haven't ever looked it up or ever heard it, One More Light by Linkin Park. Super good fucking song, dude. Super good song. I don't know. What music do you guys like? Can you give me a couple of songs or albums or whatever that you really love? I mean, there's all kinds that I like, and I've always been into fucking, you know, into music for basically my entire life, and that's something we don't really talk about on the chats very much. I feel like Matt doesn't even listen to music. He likes politics and sci-fi, but when it comes to music, there's not much that he's into. I was thinking about buying a guitar, too, because I used to play guitar back in the day, but it's been a really long time, and I was never very good at it. I'm not saying I was good at it or anything. It was just fun to do. Fun to strum on a guitar and play a little bit of music. use a translation app so you guys. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, she'll try to talk to me, and like, you know, like 80% of the time, I know what she's trying to say, or I can figure it out. But there's like 20% of the time where I'm like, I have no fucking clue what you're saying. So I don't know. About half the time that happens, it's like important enough for her to fucking try to translate it or whatever. Daisy says, I like On Your Own by Lasting Effect. I've never heard of Lasting Effect. Okay. Literally everything John Denver, George Harrison, 90s stuff, folk stuff, a little bit of top 50 garbage. Rome. I like Rome. Glass Animals. I do like a lot of 90s music. Not so much the 80s. I wasn't in 80s. Because here's the thing. I had 2 older sisters growing up. And they were all into the fucking 80s music. Like, that's all they fucking listened to was 80s music. And I just, like, I don't know. If any of you have, like, an older sister who annoyed you when you were a kid, and, like, you associate that with a genre of music. And it's the big hair bands, the big fucking metal bands, the ballad albums and all that stuff. And, like, Cyndi Lauper. And, oh, my God, fuck that shit. Also, that guy on Matt's show who shows his own music, not very good. Who is that? Who were you talking about? During that 20% of the times when you're supposed to kiss? Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. See, I'm a little shy when it comes down to it, dude. I don't know. I am, like it or not. Like, I'm not saying, like, you know, I've had my share in my time, but I don't necessarily like chasing after it and stuff. It's not my thing. Lasting Effect is my band, LOL. Also, it's Days X. Okay. Sorry about that. Days X. I always say Daisy, don't I? Papa Roach, Alien Ant from Cottonmouth Kings, ICP. Oh my God, ICP. Mudvayne, System of the Down, Rammstein, Du hast mich. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of good music out there. There honestly is. I tend to like the music that has some soul to it. You know, that's actually like saying something. Like Cyndi Lauper. Yeah, there you go. Like Cyndi fucking Lauper. Yes. When Cyndi Lauper got up on stage, not Cyndi Lauper, who am I thinking of? Janis Joplin. Why would I think Cyndi Lauper and Janis Joplin in the same fucking... What the fuck? It's like I set up a midnight stream for tomorrow night. Like, Janis Joplin, man, when she got up on the stage, she had some fucking soul. She had some goddamn motherfucking soul, and she laid it out for you guys. She laid it out for all of us, and they put it on wax. And what's it been since she died? Like 50, 60 years, you know? And you can still feel that soul when you put on that music. And I agree, dude. 90s music is where it's at. That's probably my favorite genre. Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Counting Crows. Not so much Hootie and the Blowfish, but Stone Temple Pilots. Fuck yeah, dude. STP all the way. I cried when Kurt Cobain died. When Kurt Cobain died, that was my favorite band, and Kurt Cobain was my hero, and he put a fucking shotgun in his mouth and pulled the fucking trigger. And I didn't understand why. Not at the time, anyway. B.B. King is good. He's very talented. I agree with that. I don't know, man. I do like Linkin Park, though. That's one of my feeling down, or like Counting Crows or something like that. You know, there's a lot of good fucking music. X Adam says, you represent the USA, you have to be a gentleman. I think if you represent the USA, it means you like directly aren't a gentleman. Like, that's what representing the USA means, right? That's why everybody from other countries fucking hates Americans, because all they ever fucking meet are like the rich, entitled, shitty Americans who've got like the money to go tour Europe and shit. Kind of like Coloradans and Texans. The only Texans we ever meet are fucking assholes because they got a bunch of fucking money. Days X said Kurt did not put a shotgun in his mouth. Well, I mean, that is a conspiracy theory, isn't it? They did search the house that he was in and didn't find his body. And there's the whole thing about Courtney Love's music being written by Kurt Cobain, and that's why her music sucked ass, like wholesale ass after he died, because there wasn't anything that he was writing for them anymore. Gentleman puts at least half of his weight on his elbows. There you go. Is that better? Is that better posture? Well, I got to sit with posture. Maybe I could do chats for longer if I sit with posture. I have terrible posture when I'm sitting here and talking. I don't know why. Trying to get comfortable, but then by the end of it, dude, that 24-hour chat, oh my fucking God, dude. Sitting with bad posture for 24 hours is a bad idea. My neck hurt for like a week after that. Yeah. Whip out the 357. I can't, but I got a 38 special right here. Everything else is locked up in the safe back there. I guess I could get something out if you guys really want to look at something. But yeah, when I'm not home, I like to keep everything locked up just in case, you know, someone fucking breaks into the house and you've got a safe and it's like fucking wide open and there's just guns sitting everywhere. Like, what's the point of having the safe? And then you start taking guns out of the safe and it's like, well, now I got to like play Tetris to get them back in. Like, Jesus Christ. Maybe I should sell a few and get a motorcycle instead. I don't know. Like, work's been slow enough where I haven't really been, like, I haven't been, like, losing money or anything like that, but, and the other thing is I've been going to the doctor and the dentist and all this shit in the last, like, month and a half, like, 6-8 weeks, something like that, and just spending a fuck ton of money. Teeth look good, though. Health is good. Got everything checked out. Although I've got a mole on my back that I got to get biopsied next week just to see, so... Not too worried about it. Like, even if it's like, oh, like, that's a bad mole, like, they just got to take it off. It's not a big deal. Just fucking little surgery. Not like fucking colon cancer or something. Do you have a nice SKS for sale? I have a nice SKS, but I don't really want to sell it. That's the thing. There's not many guns that I have that I'm like, nah, I don't care about it. Like, I like all my guns. That's why I have them. Now is a great month to get one. They're cheaper during this. They're cheapest during this month. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking about getting a motorcycle. Like, next month is the cheapest month to get them. I was actually looking at them before the chat here. Unfortunately, there's nothing really going on right now with it. Nothing good anyway. Nothing that I want. Oh, there was a Kawasaki 600, like... Here, let me find it real quick. It wasn't that expensive. This guy. Here we go. ZL600B. This thing has a fucking crotch rocket motor in it. It's got an inline 4 600. Which makes me kind of interested, you know? It's kind of a cool looking bike. And it's not very expensive. But this isn't even close to the bike that I wanted to get originally. So if I ended up with something like this, it would be way off of the original plan, you know? But it's still kind of cool. I kind of like it. It's carbureted, so that's kind of meh. But it looks like it's a comfortable bike to ride anyway. And if it's got a like inline 4 crotch rocket motor, it's got plenty of fucking power, even though it's only a 600, you know? Like, those motors make a shit ton of power for what they are. Nice little bike. I don't know. I was just looking at it. Softail ripoff. Well, a Softail has a V-twin. This has an inline 4. So it's a Softail body style ripoff, but it is completely different. Completely. Put a windscreen and some fucking bags on the back. Like, you could take this thing across the country. I think it'd be fun. And that's what I want to get a bike for. I want to like go on a road trip. I want to do some exploring. I want to do some adventuring. I want to not go to Sturgis. Thank you. Fuck that shit. Hang out with a bunch of fat, ugly bikers. That doesn't sound like much fun. But I mean, like, go to the coast, go to California, go to Florida, go down to the butt tip of Mexico, or sorry, Texas, Mexico. But yeah, see Matt, meet the fam, that kind of stuff. And on a bike like this, you could get good ass gas mileage all the way down there, all the way back. For the price of the bike, like something happens to it, it's like, oh, I'll just fix it or whatever. Versus in a car, it's like, oh shit, I need a new transmission. Like, that was a mistake. I don't know. It didn't rip off the oil pool underneath. Does it have an oil pool? Yeah, it has a little bit of oil right there, but who knows what that's from? Is that from the bike? Or is that from something else? It's the kind of thing where you'd have to show up and look at it. You and Never Enough Ammo would look cute on that adorable bike. Nuts to butts, baby. Nuts to butts. Well, it's high enough off the ground too, where it seems like you could lean it pretty far and turn it. Although if you look at the tires, the guy never fucking did. Like the back tire looks like it's been like the sidewalls have never been touched on this shit. I don't know. I'm used to the sport bikes, so you could get a $500-ish car in Top Gear style road trip. Yeah, but I mean, you've seen me work on guns. Do you want to see me work on a car? Christian Lopez says, tomorrow I'm picking up my 2020 Toyota 4Runner. I'm going to kit the fuck out of it before shit hits the fan truck. That's awesome, dude. I love 4Runners. Those Toyota 4Runners are great. I mean, I've got a RAV4, which is not a 4Runner, but it's Toyota, and it's got 4 in the number, so close. When I got tires for it, I almost splurged and got the knobbies, you know, because you can get fucking, like, for the tire size that it holds or whatever, you could put some pretty mean looking knobby tires on it, and I think that'd look cool, dude. A fucking RAV4 with knobbies. Yeah. I don't know, man. So what's going on with you guys tonight? Everybody doing good out there? Anybody dealing with some bullshit? Fucking work sucks. I'll tell you that. I was looking at these sweaters. Showing up to Christmas wearing this just to piss off my brother. It's almost worth the $55. Or even better would be to give him this for Christmas. Like, here's your Christmas present. You voted for him, motherfucker. Christian says, I drive a fucking Altima as my daily, and it's kitted too. The 4Runner will be my wife's, but will be our weekend truck for the most part. Dude, those 4Runner, I don't know about the newer ones, but like those 90s 4Runners especially, like 400,000 miles still running strong. Like, those are great fucking vehicles, dude. Really, really. And you don't have to do shit to them. I mean, change the oil. Yeah, okay. But, like, it's not like a car that requires a lot of maintenance. It just fucking works. It just works. There's some good sweaters here. All the Biden ones. How great would that be to get that from my brother? That would be so funny to me. This is the one that caught my eye, though. The cream of the crop, baby. I can't do that fucking voice. Is anyone good at doing the fucking, what's that dude's name? I can't fucking remember his name right now. I'm tired. God damn it. What is his name? Whatever, someone out there will say it in like 5 seconds and then I'll remember it and I'll be pissed at myself. That's the way it works. Battle Elf says Toyota strong. Randy Savage, Macho Man, thank you. That's it. Yeah, now everyone's saying it. Randy Macho Man Savage. There was a Weird Al Yankovic clip with him in it where he was like, oh yeah, you want to fight? And then he put a hamster in the fucking ring with him and Randy Savage fucking body slams the hamster. Oh my god, like what the fuck? Yeah, so in Denver, what they're doing now for all the homeless people because it's getting cold is they are booking up all of the hotels available, all the cheap motels and hotels. They're taking them and fucking filling them up. They're taking ones that have been closed down and reopening them and refurbishing them, spending millions and millions of dollars to get these hotels in working order so that they can fill them with homeless people. It's like Colorado has a homeless person problem. At least Denver does. Worse than it's ever been in my entire life. Like, we've always had a few. Like, if you went to, like, the Central Park, and it's not called Central Park, but the equivalent of Central Park in downtown Denver, you'd always see some back in the day. You know, like, if you wanted to, like, go buy some weed back in the day before it was legal, you could go to that park and, like, find a homeless guy who was selling weed, and you would be able to get weed, like, last-ditch effort if everyone's out, you know. But now it's like every street corner has one. Every single street corner has one. Every empty lot has a tent. There's trash every... It looks like LA, dude. It's terrible. Oh, yeah. Oregon gun access measure narrowly passes. Brings joy and sadness. So everybody in Oregon... Sorry, you got 10-round magazines. What else does that have in it? It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, nothing more than 10 rounds. And you gotta, like, go through a background check or some shit like that. And pay money to take a class before you can buy a gun, to get a license to buy a gun. Absolute shit. Shall not be infringed. That's a direct violation of the Second Amendment. And I don't think that states have the right to do that. I think it'll be fucking turned over in court or whatever eventually. But in the meantime, if you want to buy a gun and you live in Oregon, I guess there's always the black market, eh? Oh, dude. I was just watching this before the chat. Holy fuck, what's wrong with people? Enjoy.
Holy shit! Let's just making McNuggets in my hand. I don't want to hear it.
It's 10:30 a.m. We don't serve chicken McNuggets at this time.
Yes, you do.
No, we don't.
Why not?
Because we do.
You what? Did you just hiss at me? Oh, the morons just fucking hiss at you.
Hey, just give me that out of the car. What's going on over there?
Don't you fucking run away from me, you family.
Yeah.
No.
God, oh shit.
Oh, no. Don't make me assume my ultimate form. I will fuck you up.
Don't make me into my ultimate form.
Wait, I'm gonna wreck you. I'm trying to show you.
Just a minute. Sam. Whoa.
You know who I am?
Man. What? Close that shit. Man.
Dude, she's growling at them like Lion-O. Babagoo. Anyone know any homeless vets? Honestly, I'm sure like a good percentage of the ones in Denver probably are. It's bad, I know, it's bad, but I never stop and fucking talk to any of them. There's just so many of them, it's like... It's overwhelming. Like, there was a point where I would stop and talk to a homeless person, and dude, like, there was a... What was this, like 2-3 weeks ago? I was getting done at the gym, and I was walking out to my car, and this dude rode up on a bicycle to me, and his legs looked like he'd fucking fallen off the bike, and like got him all fucked up and scratched up and bruised up and shit. And he had tears in his eyes, and he was like, "Please, can you help me, please?" And I'm like, "What's going on, dude?" And he's like, "My legs are infected." And I could look at them. They were obviously infected. Like, from the deep fucking cuts that he had into his legs. And, I mean, I gave him $20. That's not really going to help him that much, but it helped him. Like, he was very, very, very thankful for it. And I felt good giving it to him, but at the same time, like, I felt terrible because it's like, what are you going to do now, dude? You know? Like, you can't go to a doctor with $20 and get fucking antibiotics. Like, you should be able to just get, like, if you need antibiotics, like, you got some shit like that, you should be able to go to the pharmacy and be like, look at my legs, give me some fucking penicillin or whatever, you know? But they don't do it here. I mean, I guess you go to the pet store and say, yeah, my goldfish need antibiotics. Like, which aisle? That's what you do. I don't know what he did, though. He rode off looking for money from someone else. Maybe it's a ploy. Like, scrape your legs up. You get more money that way. Yeah, and I don't usually give money to him either. And I hate it when you pull up to the fucking intersection and the light's red and you're in the left lane and the guy's standing right next to your car and you make eye contact and it's just like, ugh. Like, bro, I'm on my way to work, you know, or I'm on my way to pick up my kids and go to the grocery store to buy food for them. Like, I can't be worrying about you and your problems. And it seems to me like a lot of these people probably could get a job, you know, probably could do something to improve their situation, but they would rather like stand on the corner and beg for money and then live on the street and spend the money on drugs. I don't know, man. There was that speech that Trump was giving yesterday, his announcement speech. And I was agreeing with most everything he said, but then he said something that kind of like, I was like, I don't know about that. Where he was like, death penalty for drug dealers. And I was thinking like weed dealer when he said that, you know, like guy selling pot, gets caught selling pot. Now he's facing the death penalty. But I don't think he was like, that wouldn't be what it's for. I hope that's not what it's for, even though he didn't say. But fentanyl dealers. How many people die of fentanyl every year in America? Turns out the answer is more than died in the entire 8 years of Vietnam. Every year. Every fucking year. And a lot of those people were like once functioning members of society that had some accident, and then the doctors back then, a couple years back, would just put them on hardcore fucking opiates so that they could continue to do things. And then eventually like regulations caught up with them. And like my ex worked at a pain management center, and that's what they dealt with, was just people coming in trying to get more opium, more heroin, more fentanyl. And yeah, the government cut them off. So what do? You go to the guy on the street, right? You go to the guy who's got the pills that you fucking need because now you're like hopelessly addicted to them. Not to mention, like, you still have that pain that caused you to get on those pills in the first place. It's sad and it's terrible. I don't know what to do about it. And part of me says, like, yeah, just give them all the fucking the fentanyl that they want. Like, oh, you want to do fentanyl? Here you fucking go. Fentanyl problem solved in like a couple of months because all of them are dead. But that's not helping anybody. I mean, it's helping the people who aren't on fentanyl, I guess, but what if one of them is your kid or your dad or your friend or whatever, you know? That's not what you want for them. And that, I don't think, is the solution that people want. You'd want to do something for them to help them, but at a point, like, that's a societal cost that can the society afford at this point? I mean, I guess we keep affording billions of dollars to go to fucking Ukraine, and then it goes to FTX, and then back to the Democrats, and everyone's cool with that, right? Is Trump planning on executing the slacker crime family inventors of Oxycontin? No, of course not. Not Pfizer and Moderna. Not the fucking people who actually produce it. And certainly not China, because that's where it's made and they ship it over here. Well, they ship it to the cartels down south. And since we have like completely open borders, they just get to bring it across the border and, you know, up their butthole or whatever they do. Like, that's the problem that needs to be solved. Like, fuck you, China, number one. And I think it's like China's still pissed about the opium wars, right? Like, how long ago was that? And it wasn't even us that did it. It was fucking UK. But the UK would ship opium over there and, like, let everyone get addicted so that, you know, it could hold China down to whatever extent that it would happen. But, yeah, I feel like they're pissed about it, and this is their revenge. But they're killing America's youth. So many kids, so many people my age and younger. Even some that are older, but especially my age and younger. Like, I know a couple people who've died because of fentanyl. More than a couple, actually. It's like the War of Vietnam, dude. Everyone knew somebody, right? And there was like a kid on every fucking block at a point. Which is why people got so outraged about the war and did something about it. And eventually they had to get out of the war because it was no longer feasible for them to keep up with it because of the American people had made their fucking will clear. Like, you got to fucking stop this shit. But everyone's so fucking apathetic. And there's no unity. There's no fucking common good. There's no brother that you're helping out, even if he's not your brother. And even if he is your brother, he fucking, like, hates you because you have different political views and thinks that you're brainwashed and shit. Thinks that you're hateful. Dude, I'm not fucking hateful. I'm not. And you guys aren't either. It's not about that. It's like the solutions to the problems are different in our mind than it is in their mind. They think the answer is more government. And they think that if you think that the answer is anything other than more government, that you're evil and you want these people to fucking die. And you want all of these bad things for everybody. It's like, no, dude. I'd like people to stand up on their own 2 feet. Like, I've dealt with my own addictions and vices or whatever you want to call them, you know? And it was hard. I'm not saying it was easy. It took some fucking willpower. It took getting sick of it. It took getting to that point where you're fucking sick of this thing that you keep doing and you don't know why you're doing it anymore. And you get to that point where you want to fucking do something about it. And it's like this old story, and I love this fucking story, dude. It's about, how does it go exactly? Like, you go to a Buddhist monk and you ask him, like, what is the point of life? Like, how do you have such strength in your life? And he says, meet me at the beach at 7:00 in the morning tomorrow. And so you go to the beach and you meet him, and he goes out in the waves and he's like, come here. And like, as you come near him, he goes deeper. And as you come near him, he goes even deeper. And then you finally get near him and he, with all his force, holds you under the water. Right? And you fight and you get like a breath of air. And you're like, oh, and then he fights you down and you're underwater and you fight harder and then you get a breath of air and then he holds you down even further. And then you get to that point where you're just like, I have to fucking breathe or I'm going to die. And with every bit of fight and strength that you have inside of your body, you fight past his strength and you get your breath of fresh air. And he's like, that's how you succeed. That's how you get past the thing that is holding you back. You have to get to that point where you need it as bad as air. You need to get past the thing, and that's how you do it. You need it as bad as air. And I fucked that story up. It's been a while since I've heard it. But it's true. Like, you have to get to that point where you're just fucking sick of the thing that's fucking holding you down and holding you back. And the only way, for me anyway, to do that is to... It wasn't rock bottom. Like, it's different than rock bottom, because rock bottom is like the homeless dude on the bicycle with the fucking the sores on his leg. Never got that low. But where you're just fucking sick of it. And you're just like, I will do anything I have to do to get rid of this. And you guys saw it with weed. I mean, that was only the most recent iteration. I mean, I don't really talk about all the things that I've done because some of them are pretty fucking bad, you know? But I put all that shit down. I've stopped all of it. And for me, it's looking at my kids and saying, like, am I being a good dad? Am I being the best dad that I can be while I'm sitting here smoking weed, you know? No, the answer is fucking no, it's not. I'm not. Not everybody has kids, you know, so that's not the answer for everybody, but it's certainly the answer for a lot of people. You know, a lot of you guys have kids out there, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're getting drunk. You know, I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're getting high. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're being lazy with it. And when you look back on your life, when you get a little older and you remember when your kid was 6 years old, or rather don't remember when he was 6 years old because you were drunk all the time, you feel pretty shitty about it, don't you? And that's what it was for me, man. I felt pretty fucking shitty about not being as good of a dad to my kids as I could have been. And now every day that I have them, every fucking day, I do something special, something extra, you know, just something to let them know how much love they have. And they're great kids, dude. That's the thing about them. Like, I had a shit childhood, and a lot of it was circumstantial. But a lot of it was because of the choices that my dad made. The choices that were, you know, him first instead of me. What he wanted instead of what was good for me. And those choices eventually compounded and compounded and compounded. And he spent 6 years in prison. And he got out of prison. And he was cool for like a month because he felt bad about being a piece of shit and not being there for 6 years, you know? But then it was like right back to the same shit. Right back to what decisions can I make to maximize how much income I have instead of what decisions can I make to maximize my relationship with my son. There's a lot of things that I've done in my life that are a direct result of that decision from him to be the opposite of that, if that makes sense. Because I don't want to be that, and I never want to be that for my kids. And I can tell you, like, my relationship with them is great. It's fucking great. Like, they've got a problem, they come to me and talk to me about it. I don't treat them like a lesser than, or like they're stupid, or like they're a fucking kid. I talk to them like an adult. And I treat their problems like they're my own, you know? And that's something I never fucking had. I know that's something a lot of you guys never had. And how great, how awesome would that be? How awesome would that have been if you had a dad who tackled your problems like they were his own? Something I never fucking had, dude. Wow, it got deep, didn't it? Holy shit. I don't know, man. Sometimes the decision to make more money, to be away for longer, and then to be tired and shitty and angry and upset and fucking crappy when you get home with your kids, like, that's not obviously not the good decision to make. It'd be better to make a little bit less money and have some attentive, fucking calm, rational thought and love for your child when you come home. Even if you can't fucking buy him the thing. And my dad didn't buy me the thing. He bought himself the fucking thing. I mean, like, that's what it's always been, dude, with him. I don't know. I was talking to Duke about this a while back, you know, and like, it was right after my dad died. And Duke has a good dad. Duke has a great dad. Duke has that kind of dad who was always there for him, who always did what was right for him, or maybe not always, but, and I wasn't always like that for my kids either, but did it enough to like have that positive relationship with his father. And he was thinking about like, oh fuck, man, like your dad just died. You must be distraught. You must be in a shitty place mentally right now. Let me talk to you about it. And I was like, dude, no, I'm honestly fine. I'm honestly 100% good. And he couldn't understand it. He couldn't understand how my dad just died. Not even that, it was like a week after or something like that. Like we're just getting done with the funeral and shit like that. And I was talking to him. And I was like, dude, you pay for it when you're young or you pay for it when you're old. You pay for having a shitty dad when you're young because your dad wasn't there for you. He wasn't there at the baseball game. He wasn't there when your knee was scraped. He wasn't there when a whole bunch of things happened. And it sucked then. And it hurt then. And that's when you needed him. Or he was there for all of those things, and now he's old and getting sick, and he dies or whatever, he's going to die, and then you pay the price then because you don't want him to go. Because you really need him. Because you really appreciate what he did for you in your life. And you pay the price at the end, or you pay it up front or you pay it at the end. That was the point. No, my mom fed and clothed me. See, the thing, okay, let me tell the story then, since you guys don't know. Since obviously you don't know. My dad worked for John Deere when I was a little kid, like age born to 4 years old. And he was the vice president of John Deere Motor Company at that time. And what he was doing, one of his, what would you call it? One of his duties at work was to acquire raw steel from suppliers so that they could mill it and manufacture it and make it into parts and stuff, and and then stamp John Deere on it and sell it. And so he had this backdoor deal worked out with one of these steel providers where they would pay like 20% above market for the steel, and then the two dudes would split it. Like he would get half of the money, and they were spending like $100,000, $200,000 in 1982 money. And so they were each getting, $10, $20, $30, $40,000 per deal extra under the table. And he took that money and he started all these other companies. Like I remember when I was a little kid, there was he had a diamond company, like he had a jewelry company that he had like out of a strip mall that he was using to funnel the money through and launder it to make it look like he made it through that company and make it his own. And there was like a photo booth company. There was a couple of them. But eventually, as happens when you're stealing that kind of money, people catch on. And eventually the IRS caught on. And they came and did an investigation and arrested him and put him in jail for 6 years. It was supposed to be like 12, 20, something like that. But good behavior, all that stuff in prison, he got out. Well, that was when I was 5 years old. And he got out when I was 11, right? My mom took care of me. She paid for everything. She worked 60 hours a week. She'd come home fucking tired. She would leave before we were at school and come home like to barely in time to cook dinner, Like we raised ourselves. We sat in front of the TV and like my older brother beat the shit out of me all the fucking time. And my two older sisters were more interested in getting dick than they were fucking taking care of us, which I don't blame any of them for. But I certainly got the fucking short end of the stick, But, yeah, he got out of jail when I was like 11 years old. And my mom let her health go during that time because she had done nothing but work. She had done nothing but work. And she got cancer when I was 11 years old. she fought it off, and then she got cancer again. And then she fought it off, and she got cancer again. And when I was 15 years old, she died of cancer. So yeah, there was a short period of time from born to 4 to 5 years old where my dad was technically providing, even though he was stealing the fucking money, right? And he didn't come home at night for 6 years. And then my mom died, and he started going to all these late night meetings, right? Me and my brother were the only ones living at home at the time, knew what the fuck he was up to. Like, he's seeing somebody and he doesn't want us to know about it, and he's spending his time with that person instead of us, especially at a time where we probably need him the most. He'd rather be with her and not think about it than look at us and remember, which maybe I could understand. I don't know, maybe. But one night, this was September 29th was when she died. It was right after Christmas. It was between Christmas and New Year's. My dad came home and he said, "By the way, your new mom is moving in on New Year's Day. Get used to it or get out." And I just turned 16 years old. So I got out. I had a job. I had a car. I had a basement to live in. So I left. That was the last time I lived with my dad. So you can say, like, yeah, he put a roof over your head and he came home every night. But neither one of those things is true. Neither one of them. And maybe that's why I can't abide being anything but the best dad I can for my kids. Maybe that's why when I look back at the times when I wasn't being the best dad I could possibly be, it disgusts me. Maybe that's why I have the willpower to change the things in myself that disgust me, that I don't like. So yeah, I mean, you can say those things, but you don't know, and I'm not blaming you that you don't know, but now you fucking know. When he died, I didn't care. When he died, I didn't cry once. Not one fucking tear. Not one. Still haven't. Probably never will. I was more upset at the fact that I wasn't upset, Again, dude, you pay the price when you're little, or you pay the price when you're old. Either way, you pay the price. I think that's why a lot of people are so crazy about COVID, because they had a good parent and they don't want to pay that price, and they'll do anything that they could possibly do, including fucking make you get a jab and get your job taken away and fucking shove that mask down your throat so that their parent doesn't die. Thankfully, that's a decision or a problem I never had to deal with, I mean, my mom died when I was 15. My dad died when I was 39. Still haven't cried about it, dude. And I won't. Because there's nothing to cry about. He was never there for me when I needed him. Never. Never. Like, even when I was a little kid, dude, like one of my earliest memories, one of my very first memories that I've ever had, my dad was working in the backyard, like mowing the lawn and doing the things, and I was playing with toys in the backyard. And yeah, my dad had a giant cup, like a 44-ounce Big Gulp, full of Jim Beam and ice. That's all it was, like full to the top of ice, and then you fill it up to the top with Jim Beam. And it was a hot day outside, and this cup had like the condensation on the outside of the cup because it was so ice cold. And I was like thirsty because it was hot outside. And I say to my dad, like, "Hey, can I have some of that? What is it?" And he goes, "It's apple juice, here," and hands it to me. 4-year-old Honda, thirsty because it was hot, started chugging the apple juice because I thought it would be good to chug some. I was fucking thirsty, dude. And I got 3 gulps of that shit down before I realized it wasn't apple juice. And I don't remember anything after that, obviously. But to this day, I don't like the smell of whiskey. Why is that? Because of him. Is that abuse? By today's standards, fuck yes it is. Fuck yes it is. Did he ever have any kind of ramifications from that? No. Why would he? He never paid for a thing in his life. I mean, I guess at the end he did, but he never had accountability for the things that he did wrong. Because he would always deflect it to something else. And yes, I am older than 39. I'm about to be 41. I'm about to be 41 here in a little bit. Crazy, huh? Time fucking keeps ticking. I know a lot of people my age who don't look any... Like, I look great for how old I am, I gotta admit. Could look a lot worse anyway. Superbad says, my dad sent me a message on Facebook asking if I would accept a friend request from him. I told him the same thing he told me. Who are you? I don't know you. See, dude, and you paid the price then. And even like later in life, right? Like when I had kids and their mother ended up being Amber Heard without the turd. She was Amber Heard, but she never pooped in my bed or anything like that. But borderline personality disorder, histrionic, all that stuff. Dealt with it, right? Been there, done that. And to deal with how shitty I felt after we broke up, I was getting drunk all the fucking time. I was getting drunk all the fucking time. And it was the only time where I wasn't like so sad I wanted to put a fucking gun in my mouth was when I was so drunk I couldn't think. So that was the state that I lived in. And eventually, guess what? You don't do very well at work when you're drunk all the time. I get fired. When you're spending all your money on booze, you don't have much savings. Shortly after that, I didn't have rent. Shortly after that, I didn't have a place to live. Didn't have a place to take my kids. So I was, 26 years old at this time? Something like that. Went to my dad, hat in hand, who, by the way, at the time, was living with his new wife and his 4 new kids or whatever, and giant fucking house, room in the basement. Dad, can I live in the basement for a couple of months till I get back on my feet? Can I please live here? Like, I'll stay out of the way so I have a place to bring my kids so I can spend time with my kids. He told me no. So yeah, I needed him then. He wasn't there then either. And I could point to 20 other times off the top of my head when he should have been there and he wasn't. And I would cut my foot off for my kids, I'd jump in front of the bus. I'd do whatever I have to do. I would do literally whatever I have to do to be there for them. At any point. From now to the day I die. So yeah, I didn't cry at his funeral. I didn't cry when he died. I didn't cry when I saw him at the hospital. I wasn't upset about it. I was upset that I wasn't upset. Now, his sister's still alive, my Aunt Betty. Jesus Christ. No kids. She always had a dog named, what was her dog's name? Angel, or I can't remember what her dog. Anyway, like when Angel number 1 would die, she'd have Angel number 2. She's on like Angel number 13 or something like that. I can't remember the name of her dog right now. God damn it. I should remember this. But she loved the girls in the family and never really cared about the boys for some reason. She would always like do whatever she could for like the girls' birthdays. She'd send them fucking like whatever it was. She'd call them all the time and like see how they're doing. Like me and my brother, like Oh God, that's a whole nother story. Don't care as much, you know. It's my aunt. It's fine. It's not like she's supposed to be there for everything, you know. Your aunt or uncle or kind of once removed or whatever. But yeah, she's still around, and she's super leftist. Super leftist. Why? Well, because she lives off the fucking government dole at this point. Like, her husband's dead. God rest his soul. Bernie was a cool motherfucker. Like, Bernie got ran over by a 18-wheeler when he was 18. Lived through that shit. He died at like 90. Saw him without his shirt off one time. You could see where the truck ran him over across his stomach. It broke his ribs and then healed that way. Like, he was a tough ass motherfucker. I remember like visiting them in Florida. God, it was like 10 years ago, something like that. Uncle Bernie had a dirt bike. 82 years old or whatever he was at the time. And they lived in an old folks home, but he'd ride around on the dirt bike at the old folks home. Like, he was a badass, dude. But yeah, my dad's sister's crazy leftist, and that's fine. She can continue to be crazy leftist. I don't have a problem with that. Battle Elf says, I have a Colt 1909 and 45 long Colt. I haven't shot it yet. That's pretty badass. I don't have any. Like, I would like to get a Colt. I bought the 686 Plus, and part of me was like, save a little bit more money and like get a Colt, get a fucking Anaconda or a Python or something. And everyone talked me out of it, but I wish I hadn't let you motherfuckers talk me out of it. Not that any of you guys did. It was Matt who talked me out of it. Fuck you, Matt.
In the arms of the angel.
Colostomy Bag says, my grandfather was pretty bad to my dad. He was busy being a general, holy shit, in Vietnam and South Korea. Drug my mentally ill grandmother to hellhole paces and was never home for my dad and uncle. But it made my dad a great father. Well, and that's the thing, dude. My dad's dad, my grandpa. Here, let me show you a picture of my grandpa. My grandpa was cool as fuck. Look at this picture. Do you know who that is in the middle, standing up in the middle of that convoy? That's the Duke himself. Do you know who this is? That's my grandpa protecting him. So yeah, my grandpa was a cool guy. He was a cop. He was a business owner. He had a bike shop back in the day. Like, he was cool as fuck, dude. Hard as fuck. Hard as fuck. Yes, John Wayne, the Duke himself. Yeah. My grandpa was such a badass that when John Wayne needed protection, that's who fucking did it. I mean, he was a good dad. He was a good husband. When he died, when I was a little kid, we went to his funeral. There were something like 300 people at the I wanted to say hospital, but at the church. They had to find a bigger church because there were so many people who wanted to come. That's the kind of guy my grandpa was. When my dad died, a couple dozen, you know, no one cared. Because he cared about himself, not them. MSB says, R.I.P. Matt, he will be missed. But with practice, we'll get better. Oh, let me make myself big. You guys didn't really see it, did you? So yeah, John Wayne standing in the middle. Right there. That's my grandpa. Kind of looks like me, doesn't he? He was 6'7" though. Like he was a monster. He was so tall. Like I remember like seeing him when I was a little kid, and I like came up to his kneecap. Like he was a giant. But yeah, man. I don't know, man. We're talking about some real shit tonight, I guess, huh? I wasn't really trying to go down that road, but I guess when you leave me alone with my thoughts, this is where they take. This is where they go. To family, to what is really important, you know? Like, why do you buy guns? Because they're cool. Yeah, sure. That's fine. But ultimately, why do you buy guns? To protect the people that you fucking love. Why do you buy preps? Yeah, because you need food, right? But ultimately, to feed the fucking people that you love. Why do you care about politics? Because it's interesting and it's annoying that these people don't understand. But why do you really care about them? To protect the future for the children that you have that you love. Those are my reasons. What are yours? Half the chat is now clinically depressed. Dude, depression is a real thing, but I don't think you should take a pill for it. I honestly don't. Like maybe to initially get over like the traumatic hump of whatever's going on, but if you feel depressed about something, it's probably because something's fucked up in your life. And if you take a pill to ignore it, then you're never going to fix the thing in your life that's fucked up. So I strongly disagree with anyone taking, for long periods of time, especially long periods of time, taking fucking antidepressants, taking pills to make you not anxious, to make you happy and have your dopamine levels artificially raised up. Your dopamine levels should be raised up because you're moving towards a goal, not because you took a pill. The thing in your life that's making you depressed isn't solved by going to the doctor and having them treat the symptoms. Yeah, dude. I mean, where am I at now? I mean, financially, it's not great. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment with my 2 kids. And, you know, there's lots of things that I'd like to be able to do, but I can't because I don't have the money. But am I happy? Fuck yeah, dude. I'm fucking happy as shit. Like all the time. Because I make the decisions that matter long term. It's not about what makes you happy today. It's about what makes you happy in 10 years. It's about what makes your children happy in 20. It's about what makes your grandkids fucking thrive in 50. You hide the happiness so well. Well, I mean, you can't ignore the things that you've gone through to make you who you are. Because that's the equivalent of taking the pill. That's the equivalent. It's the blue pill or the red pill. Do you want to live in reality and eat the slop? Or do you want to live in the Matrix and eat the steak? I'd rather eat the slop. I'd rather live on that fucking shitty ship and have what's his name tell me what to do all the time. Oh God, that's a great movie. That's probably one of my favorite movies, by the way. Having money does improve your life. I've been on both sides now. Well, there's a certain amount of money that improves your life, but beyond that, it doesn't really do much for you. I mean, I guess you can take vacations in cool places, and you can buy the expensive version of the thing that you want. But there's nothing that I want that I don't have besides a motorcycle. I would like a motorcycle. Honestly, I want a motorcycle. But dude, the thing is, I could buy one right now. I've got the money to buy one. I'm just waiting for a really good deal on the right motorcycle rather than just having any old motorcycle because I can afford it, you know? But Oh, shit. Just found out my cousin unexpectedly passed away 2 days ago. Talked to her mom today, and she said the coroner said they can't find a reason she passed. How old was she? That's something that's happening a lot these days, right? 25-year-old unexpectedly dies. 22-year-old has heart attack on football field. 18-year-old overdoses on fentanyl when he thought it was fucking... he was candy flipping or whatever, you know? Yeah, Battle Elf has got it. That's probably what it was. There's a lot of that going around, dude. Because they tricked us. Well, they didn't trick me. They didn't trick a lot of you guys. But they tricked the American people. They tricked like 90% or 85% of people in Colorado. Like, you ask the average person in Colorado, almost guaranteed they've taken the fucking jab. Almost every single one of them. Kids to grandparents. She was 40. I mean, that's the age I am right now, man. But I've been going to the doctor. Kind of had that health scare there, which thankfully has passed. I, had ultrasounds and blood tests and hormone tests and blood count tests and all kinds of shit. And turns out I'm actually in pretty fucking good health. I was just at the doctor today, actually. And the nurse did my blood pressure, and she was like, holy cow, like, that's really good. Like, why? Because I work on my feet, and I go to the gym and do cardio, you know? I get as much sleep as I can every night. Because I work nights, so I don't have to be up ass early in the morning. Maybe that's it. Maybe the answer is, like, work the schedule that your body's accustomed to or that it's, like, wired for. Because, like, think about this. Cavemen back in the day. There were a lot of cavemen that had to work during the day, and so they are on the morning schedule. They rise with the sun, they go to bed with the sun. But there were cavemen that had to sit up all night and protect everybody to make sure that wolves didn't come by and eat the children. Some of us are descended from those AM cavemen that woke up with the sun. Some of us are descended from those PM cavemen that protected the children while they slept. I think I am the latter. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they figure it out and let you guys know and you get some closure from it, but that's terrible, man. I'm sorry to hear that. X out of one says, I think that this stuff is always happening, but the news just highlights certain things to steer people's thoughts or to create a disturbance. Well, you say that, but then you got to look at the statistics, right? Because there are statistics out there. Like, look at number of stillbirths. Look at heart attacks, myocarditis. Look at VAERS reporting. All of it is off the charts. All of it is beyond anything that's ever happened before. All of it is way higher than any numbers we've ever seen. And correlation is not causation, but it's a start. It's a good place to start looking. Simple Dad says, I am one of those night owl cavemen. Dude, honestly, I've always been that way. Like, back in the day, going to school, like, we'd have to wake up at like 7 o'clock in the morning to go to school. God, that was fucking hard. And I was always fucking tired, and I was always behind on sleep. And then as soon as, like, I was not going to school anymore, guess what? Night job, baby. Like, and I've been sleeping great ever since. Maybe that's why I look younger, because I fucking sleep. Maybe that's why people look older, because they don't. Sleep is key. If you're not getting enough sleep at night, you feel older. Your energy sucks. Your body is not repairing itself. Your brain doesn't work correctly. A million fucking things are wrong with you because you're not able to, like, get the rest that you need to fortify your body, to absorb the fucking minerals and vitamins and things into your cells, to rebuild the synapses and do all the stuff that you need to do and get that deep REM sleep that makes you feel rested in the morning. And if I don't feel rested in the morning when I wake up, do you know what I do? I don't drink coffee and keep going. I put on another episode of Deep Space Nine because that shit puts me right to sleep. That's how I fall asleep at night. I don't know. How do you guys fall asleep? Is there a way that you can trick yourself into just falling asleep, like duking out real quick? I swear to God, Duke, it's listening to these chats. As soon as he sits in that chair, he must have like the most comfortable fucking office chair too. Like he needs to send us a picture of that so we know. Someone needs to get him one of those uncomfortable chairs to sit in so he can stay awake. Sleep and water, yeah. Water's key too. And you gotta fucking drink good water. Don't be drinking that fucking tap water. Because there's all kinds of stuff in that, potentially. Not necessarily, not every time, not everywhere. But like the chicken farm runoffs and the cornfield runoffs and the fucking chemical plant runoffs that end up in the water, they don't fucking take all that shit out of the water at the water plant when they clean it. They take care of the nitrogen. They take care of the solids. They clean and clarify it. And once it meets EPA standards, which have nothing to do with hormone levels, which have nothing to do with forever chemicals, which have nothing to do with any of this shit, they put it back in the river or they put it back in the drinking system. And you drink that water when you turn on the tap. You should be drinking purified water. You should be drinking distilled water. You should be drinking anything but tap water, dude. Seriously. Like, why are there so many fucking trans kids? Why are there so many gay people these days? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being gay or trans, but why is there this sudden increase? Is it societal? Is it that society's pushing them to be like that? Or is it that society's reacting to them being like that? I don't know. Is it the chicken or the egg? It's one or the other. I tend to think it's because of the water, dude. Don't drink purified water either. Will dehydrate you. No minerals. Dude, that's bullshit. Yeah, I mean, if you drink nothing but distilled water and you don't have anything to eat or anything with it at all, and you just drink distilled water, that's true. But, yeah, you can drink distilled water. It's fine. Trust me, it's fine. I like to kick back on the couch watching Agent Aliens. That's why I take naps, too. Yeah, the gay frogs, man. Dude, there was a PBS, I don't know what they call it, like documentary. It wasn't quite long enough to be a documentary, but almost. It was like an hour and a half. I guess that's a documentary about fish in the Potomac. And they would catch these fish in the Potomac, and then they would like cut open the male testicles of the fish, like the fish, male fish, and they like extract their testicles and cut them open. And like 2 out of 3 of the male fish testicles had eggs in them. Why? Because there's chemicals that those fish are living in that are tricking their bodies into producing eggs inside of their testicles like their ovaries. That's happening to the fish in the natural water in the Potomac, which has all kinds of fucking plants upstream from, you know, like all kinds of chemical plants and chicken farms and slaughterhouses and cornfields and everything else. I mean, the plastic has estrogen mimickers that leach into the water. There's microplastics in all the water that you drink, pretty much. You can't get away from it these days. Like, you got to do what you can to fucking fortify yourself from that and stay away from it. Don't eat soy. Don't eat the things that make extra estrogen in your body. Dude, estrogen in a male body creates cancer. You got to stay away from that stuff as much as you possibly can. Like, why are sperm counts lower than they've ever been? Why are testosterone levels in men literally lower than they've ever been? Why are birth rates down in every industrialized country around the world? Causation, or it doesn't mean that it's, 100% from that, but it seems like the place to start looking to me. Drink well water. Drink Deep Rock water. Deep Rock water is great. There's studies on which water has the most fluoride in it. Like, look at that shit. Do the research for yourself. Don't let me tell you. Do it for yourself. But I'm saying do it for your fucking self. Do it for your kids. Do it so you can have kids. Jesus. I only eat tendies, dude. I like beef. I like steak. I like burgers. I like fucking cow. Give me the cow. Hold on, I need to grab a drink. My throat's dry. I'll be right back. Give me 1 sec. Tap water. Just kidding. Just kidding. Microplastics and everything have estrogen mimickers in them. Recent paper, film that goes into microwave dinners, etc. Yeah, dude, that's another one. Cook food. Make it yourself. Learn how to cook. Marry someone who knows how to cook. Use good ingredients. Use organic food. All of these things make a difference. Cue the Jeopardy music. I wasn't gone that long. Jesus. I just wanted some tea. My son, my youngest son, did this thing for a while where every time he would take a sip of anything, he had to go, It was cute at first, but eventually it was like, shut the fuck up. Ohio says, I had some burgers last night that were pretty good. I think that tasteless one I had a while back might have been more the cow that it came from than anything else. Oh, yeah, you were talking about having COVID and having, I forget what it's called, where like you get a temporary change in your taste buds or whatever that makes food taste differently. Like Rakita was talking about that a while back with fried chicken, because that was his favorite fucking food is deep fried chicken and deep fried foods. And it all tasted rancid to him. Dude, that's another big one. What oil are you using to fry in? If the answer is not avocado, coconut, or olive, you're wrong. Anything else, super cancer. Like all that shit gives you cancer like a motherfucker. Stay away from it. The corn oil, the canola oil, the vegetable oil, all of it is terrible for you and you need to stay away from it. And I'm a pretty goddamn good cook, man. Like I said, dude, I've been living on my own since I was 16. I was pretty bad at cooking when I was 16, but I got a lot better at it eventually. A little bit at a time. X Adam 1 says, how much is a nice motorcycle helmet? I mean, like I've got a Scorpion. Here, let me grab it. And depends on what kind too. Full face, modular, half helmet, that kind of thing. Pretty cool helmet. I think I paid like $275-ish for this one. And it's got all the right stuff. It's nice and protective. I probably need a new one if I were to get a bike, because it's been a couple years I've had this and it's been sitting on the shelf too. But I really like this helmet. But, I mean, like those Schnell helmets, some of them go north of $1,000. I'd say probably, this is probably bare minimum. Like a Scorpion XO1, I think they're on XO2 now. So a little bit updated version of this helmet would be about the minimum. Because you can go to Walmart and get like the $50 helmet. But if you get in an accident and you need your helmet, like that one's not going to be good. But I like crispy hot death. Oh, it's not Snell. It's the fuck am I thinking of? Hold on. It's been a while since I shopped for motorcycle helmets. I guess I should look over here, shouldn't I? So you guys can see it. In the arms of an angel, far away from me. Okay. Icon, those are nice ones. It's not what I was thinking of, the one I said Snow. Let's go to shopping. And let's go from... Okay, HJC, that's another good one. Over 200. Bell is what I was thinking of. I said Schnell, I meant Bell. Those Bell helmets are goddamn expensive as fuck, but those are the really good ones. But yeah, I mean, you can spend $500 on a helmet. You can spend $1,700 on a fucking helmet. That's a bit much. But if you're doing like motorcycle racing, you're going to go do track days and shit like that, maybe this is the bike that you need. Or the helmet that you need, you know? But yeah, I like the Scorpions because they're fairly inexpensive, but they've got all the right specs usually on them, depending on which one. Icons are nice too. Icon makes a lot of good motorcycle gear. Like you wouldn't do bad just being like Icon jacket, Icon gloves, Icon jeans or whatever, and Icon helmet. You wear all Icon, you're doing pretty good. You're going to spend some money on it, but you're going to be pretty well protective. Not too many motorcycle riders in Texas. Why is it too goddamn hot down there? Dude, Colorado is probably, and I know a lot of people will argue with this. Shoei's another one. Thank you, Baba Gaga. Shoei's the other one that I was thinking of. Colorado is arguably the best state for riding motorcycles. Now, you can argue against that because there's probably a good 3 months of the year where there's sporadic times where you're able to ride because it's too fucking cold. But with the right gear and the right days that you pick, you can ride every single month of the year. Not every single day. You don't want to ride when there's snow on the ground. You know, you don't want to ride when it's icy out. You certainly don't want to ride at night during the winter. That's not a good idea. I've done it. But we have the best twisty roads in the country, hands down. Like you see all these people in like Georgia talking about like Tail of the Dragon, like, oh, you got to go to Tail of the Dragon because there's all blah blah blah. Dude, there's 100 roads near me that are as good or better than Tail of the Dragon without any traffic on them, without any fucking dumbass groups of motorcycle riders trying to take every turn like they're fucking Rossi, where you can do it by yourself and not feel like you're in danger because there's not all the traffic and bullshit going on. They don't use gravel on the roads. They pave them often. There's a lot of money that they put into the roads here to keep them up to date because the weather fucking kills them. So they're always fucking working on the roads. They're always repaving. So there's always a road that's twisty as fuck with no traffic and fresh pavement. Colorado is the best. Yeah, Utah probably too. And it's arguable. Like, I'm saying, like, you guys probably have an argument for why this state or that state's just as good or better. But I'm saying, like, Colorado has 300 days of sunshine a year. Colorado only has a couple of months a year where it's too fucking cold on a regular basis to really ride, especially at night. Like, I wouldn't want to go on a road trip in December in Colorado, or November, or January for that matter. But, like, February, the end of February, it starts warming up. Like, mid-October, you're still good, you know? And you can go on a road trip in Colorado, and it's fine. While as, you know, like Texas or Florida or somewhere down south, yeah, you're fine to ride in the middle of winter. But how does it feel in, like, August? Oh, it's 120 degrees with 100% humidity, and I'm sweating my dick off, so I got to take off all of my fucking gear, and oops, I got in an accident. Now I don't have skin on the left side of my body. Yeah, and I don't know, man. New England's probably got some cool roads or whatever. I get it, dude. You guys got arguments, so do I. It's fine. And I haven't rode enough other states. Like, California is another good one. Honestly, I've rode in California, and there's some badass roads in California. California has the weather, too. So maybe California. I don't know. I haven't rode enough in California versus Colorado. But I've rode all over Colorado. Like, we got you guys ever heard of the $1 Million Highway? Dude. Oh, look, right there. $1 Million Highway. It's between Array and fucking Silverton. Here, we'll just pick a spot. Where's the little dude? Pick a spot right here. Why not? There's views everywhere, twisty roads everywhere. Maybe a bad spot, kind of, because there's ice on the ground. These, like, long sweeping turns. Dude, Colorado's fucking awesome. And there's a million roads like this. There's a million fucking roads. Okay, there's traffic and they're working on the road right here. Fine. Bad example. My bad. California has all the gay laws. You can't even ride with an AR on your back because you'll get arrested for 70 years. Dude, that's another thing we used to do on my... I had a group of friends. We'd all hop on our motorcycles with an AR-15 on our back and drive up to the middle of nowhere in the mountains, find a good spot, pull over, hike into the woods, set up some targets, and shoot a bunch of guns for a while, and then hop on our bikes and go back and get some lunch or something somewhere. Dude, that was great. You can't really get a BJ on a motorcycle. Well, you can get a hand job. You can't get a blowjob while riding a motorcycle, but you can get a blowjob on a motorcycle. Trust me. I'm thirsty, man. Fucking work. I had to sweat my ass off tonight. It was a shorter shift, but we were busy. All I did was work. It's good, though, man. I like work. Work is good for you. Work's good for your soul. Kind of sucks sometimes, and you don't always want to do it, and by the end of your shift, your fucking feet hurt, and your back hurts, and everything hurts, but there's a Scandinavian word for bread, like several words for bread, excuse me, and one of them is, like, the undeserved bread, like the bread you didn't earn. Doesn't taste nearly as good. Or, like, having a beer. You can drink a beer at 9 o'clock in the morning. Do you know what it tastes like? Piss water. You drink a beer after you build a fence for the entire day. You know what it tastes like? The nectar of the gods. It's the most delicious thing you've ever fucking had. The difference? Perspective. Trust him, he's given several. He was like that blonde guy that got hit with a steel boomerang on Road Warrior. Fuck you guys. In the arms of an angel. I want to move the fucking dude. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's find a different spot. Look at all these switchbacks and shit. Like, do you have views like this where you ride your motorcycles? Do ya? Do ya? Can you look left and see that shit? In New England? Or is it just a bunch of shitty city fucking bullshit? I don't know, I've only been out to the East Coast a couple times and I was not impressed. For all you guys who live out on the East Coast, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for where you live. Especially like Maryland, D.C., fucking that like way eastern part of West Virginia. There's some woods around there or whatever, and it looks like something out of fucking The Patriot. Honestly, it did. But you ain't got nothing like that, bro. Like, look at that. Just natural mountain beauty and nature. Something about going up there and seeing this kind of shit and like pulling over and just breathing that fresh air that just recharges your fucking soul, man. I only ride tire piles in Alabama. It sounds terrible. I mean, like, Florida. Okay, like, the other thing is ocean. Colorado does not have any ocean. Every time I go to a place that has a coastline with ocean, I am in awe of the endless view of nothingness and water that is ocean. It's like kind of makes you feel small and insignificant. But then for all the ocean people that come to Colorado, like they die of a boner erection. You know? Like, what is it called when the Viagra doesn't stop working? Yeah, I'm not happy at all. Fuck you guys. Loves the Chief says Colt 45 or 45 Colt has the cool factor, but my single actions are 22 LR and 38 special because I can afford it. All of my single actions are 44 black powder or 22 because I can afford them. Why? Because I made the decisions to be there for my kids and have a 22 fucking Rough Rider rather than like, oh, I got the big dick job. And dude, here's the thing, dude. Like back in the day, me and my ex first broke up. I had an opportunity to move to Las Vegas and be a food and beverage director for MGM and make starting out like 85 grand a year, go up from there, just do your job. You got retirement in hand. Everything's great. You know what I didn't have if I made that decision? A relationship with my kids. It's not all about the money, dude. A priapit. Yep, that's what it is. The prioprism. Prioprism. That's where... Yep, you have the views of the mountains, redwood forests. You can hit Highway 1 and have a view of the ocean from Sacramento to LA. Dude, in California's got some cool shit, bro. Don't get me wrong. But here, let's back up. Have you ever heard of Cheyenne? Not Cheyenne Mountain. It's Pikes Peak. Where's Pikes Peak? Pikes Peak, right here. Okay. Let's do the view from the top of Pikes Peak. You can see from Kansas. Oh, we're not at the top. Hold on. We got to get to the tippy top. To Utah. You can see fucking well, this is a fucking not very clear day. When it's a clear day, oh my god, dude. Top of Pikes Peak. And you can drive there. That's the crazy thing. You can drive to the top of one of the tallest mountains in the United States. It's not the tallest, and it's not one of the tallest in the world. Like Himalayas are way taller than the Rocky Mountains. But you can't drive to the top of K2, can you? You can't drive to the top of fucking, what's the other one that everyone does? Fuck me, I can't think right now. But you can in Colorado. And that's another twisty ass road. You have to pay for it, though, is the problem. It's like $20 or something like that, and they only let so many people up there at a time, so you got to make an appointment. But if you're ever in Colorado and you want to see some fucking badass views, Pikes Peak, dude. Colorado Springs, just outside of Manitou Springs. Like, that's another area that's really cool. They got Garden of the Gods. There's the Manitou Cliff Dwellings. There's Cave of the Winds. Dude, Cave of the Winds is fucking amazing. Natural caves that you can visit. Like, Colorado's got a lot of shit, dude. Too bad we're full of leftist fucking nut job fuck asses who ruin everything with stupid shit that they like to do. Yeah, there's this ride. Oh, wait, this isn't the one. The Terror Dactyl. I took a date on it one time. Like, we rode my motorcycle down to Manitou to this area, and there's a ride where you sit in a fucking harness and they swing you out over the cavern. You get like 120 miles an hour over the cavern. Oh my God, dude, you shit your pants. Gives you one of those priapisms at the same time. Anyway. Shit, I've been talking for an hour and 41 minutes. I didn't realize. Well, cheers, mates. What do you guys think? Do you like the late night chats? Do you like hanging out with Honda? Just you and me together, holding hands, giving each other blowjobs on the back of a motorcycle? I raced a lot of Pikes Peak and Gran Turismo. If I want to see... Yeah, it doesn't quite work, dude. It doesn't quite work. Not quite the same thing. Well, anyway, I think I'm going to wind it down. I'm getting a little bit tired, and I can't remember the words for things, and that's when I know that the brain's not working as well as it should. But I appreciate you guys watching. Hard pass. You don't want to give me a blowjob? Fine, fuck you, Battle Elf. Fucking, you prude bitch. Lawfully Arm says, I usually fall asleep listening to you and Matt. Tonight, I woke up to you live. Well, there you go. There you go. Yes, late night chats are good. The other guy stuff, not so much. The other gay stuff, not so much. Sorry. See, that's the other thing. I can't read anymore. My eyes aren't working as well. Gotta like squint a little bit. That's how you know you're getting older. The eyes don't work quite as well as they used to. I probably need glasses at some point. But I'm the oldest one in my family who doesn't need glasses. Like, my brother needed them in high school. My sister needed them in high school. My other sister needed them in college. My mom and dad both needed them well before I was born. I got through it all the way till now without it. I also didn't need braces, so fuck off. You like braces? Punch you in the fucking gums. What? You started off not knowing words. Yeah, that's true. You got a point. Well, I was kind of tired from... Dude, I did a bunch of shit today. Like, I woke up at 9 o'clock this morning. Got ready, went to the doctor, went to the gym, went and got food, came home, got ready for work, watched the Daryl Brooks verdict. Did you guys see that, by the way? Fuck that guy. You know who I'm talking about? The Waukesha fucking parade driver dude. Parade mass murderer. Fuck that guy, dude. Fuck that fucking piece of shit. And guess what? He's spending the rest of his life in prison. Like, pound me in the ass prison, too. Like, I hope that... I don't know if Wisconsin has a lot of, like, Aryan Nation-type people in prison, but I really hope that they do. I really hope that their prison is just full of like Aryan Nation dudes who've been watching this shit, know exactly who he is, and they're just biding their time till he gets into prison with them. You know, like that motherfucker's gonna get raped in the butthole repeatedly with the dildo from Seven. He couldn't do that on a motorcycle. That's true. That's true. It's true. Yeah, you can't like me and Matt were talking about it not too long ago. Like someone was like, "Oh, you should have got in front of him and stopped him on a motorcycle." Like, no, bad idea. But what you can do on a motorcycle is get away. Because you can fit in fucking places they can't. You can accelerate harder than they can. The only thing you can do in a car, ironically faster than a motorcycle, is turn. Because like there's certain geometry or whatever it's called to turning on a motorcycle, so you can only do it so fast. You got to be going the right speed. You got to brake before you turn. Like in a car, you can brake through a turn. So yeah, you can turn in a sports car faster than you can turn on a motorcycle. But unless you got a fucking Bugatti or some shit, and even then, there's places I can fit on a motorcycle that you can't. Brooks will get what's coming to him from multiple gangs in prison, hopefully. Dude, seriously, I hope the prison guards, like, facilitate the whole thing. And I hope that they, like, bring him to the point of death, and then doctors come in and heal him so that they can do it again. And again and again. I wish that there was some sort of, like, perpetual life machine so that they could never let him die, so that they could continually torture his ass until he's at the point of fucking, like, wanting to just die. But nope, you can't, because we got the machine that keeps you alive. Fuck off. Just drift on your motorcycle through the turn like in Fast and Furious? Yeah, that shit doesn't work, dude. At least I don't know how to do it. Fit in a ditch on the side of the road. Well, dude, I mean, some people, yeah, there's lots of dumb people. And if you're on a motorcycle and you do dumb shit, guess what? You pay for it instantly. In a car, you do some dumb shit and you pay for it with money because your car is broken and you're hurt a little bit, but you're still alive. That's why you got to do shit smart. You got to fucking plan your ride and know what you're doing and know your skill level and ride within your limits. Most people who end up in trouble on a motorcycle break one or more of those rules, and they end up in a ditch. I've rode motorcycles for 6-7 years, something like that. And I haven't for a couple of years. So guess what? When I get on a motorcycle again, I'm going to be careful. Yeah, but what are you going to do? Fuck Daryl Brooks in the ass. That's what you're going to do. All right, boys. Well, I'm calling it a night. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We will see you next time. Probably Saturday for Late Night with Honda, as per always. And until then, take care of yourselves. Make the decisions that are right for your children, not right for you. Fuck you. You're not good enough. Your kids are. Your kids are better than you. They should be. More valuable. But, yeah, I appreciate you guys listening. Hit me up in the comments. Give it a thumbs up. Share the video, dude. That's another good thing. Having a lot of trouble with channel growth right now because YouTube does not like me. So if you like this type of format and you know some people who might be into it, or you want to share it on your Twitter or your Facebook or whatever, please do, man. Like, let's get some new people on here too. I'd appreciate that. But anyway, guys, have a great night. We'll see you next time. Peace.